with slightly erroneous office information on the back. These are the minutes from September in green. Lainey found the printer and she had some handouts as well, and I'll let her speak to them. We have fairly good attendance tonight. Let us come to order and introduce ourselves. I'll start with me. My name is Mike Feldman. I am the chairman of the Associates Executive Committee, which means I get to run the meeting. And Ben and Evelyn are here, and maybe not. No one else on the AEC. We have one open seat. If anybody wants to help us do this stuff, please consider running. You'll only serve until March, where you'll be up for re-election again. And let's go this way with our introductions. Evelyn?
I'm on this committee, right?
You are, still.
Also, I'm VP of the program committee, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And I'm producer of On the Move, focusing on the children and youth. Well, I love WEFT.
And we love you.
Exactly. Rick Schellen, co-jazz genre director and co-host of Tuesday evening and Thursday morning jazz.
Doug Olive, Weekend Heartbeat, and Web Courier. Rich Ressler, I'm in the Monday Blues Collective, and I do Wednesday morning menus. And a shameless plug, anybody wants to buy a book for somebody for your Christmas holiday, this is my new book that just came out. It's good for any company. Let me know, I can get it for you wholesale. I can. All right. Leslie, Blues John, our co-director and host of Scoop and Savior Blues on Thursday. A couple of collectives, ready to like the blues line.
Todd Hunter, Monday nights I do 2 hours of local music, and when the clock strikes midnight, I do 2 hours of 1940s.
My name's Kristen. I host DK Lace on Sunday nights at 10.
Zach Widow, I do a couple things now and then. Can't remember what they are.
Laura Eisenstein, Shane Santos, and alternating Wednesdays where Adrian's currently doing Wednesday electronic music.
Roberts, I host Not Quite Over the Edge on Wednesday nights from 10 to midnight, and I'm the co-host for Women Making Waves.
Dave on Friday month on Sunday.
Paul Muth, I do a show called News from Neptune, not to be confused with the video version. And I also host a more international show called New on the World at 5 Sundays, and I help out with the Friday Forum when it's happening. And I haven't been on the board in a while, haven't been on the program committee in a while. I'm overcommitted right now, or I consider it, but anyway. I think we need an expansion of public affairs programming, but birthing is hard. Not talking from personal experience. Over to you.
Denise Curia, I do Alter Ego Tuesday morning menu, and then I now also doing Alter Ego in the evening, Thursday evening from 7 to 8. I am currently not on any board or committee.
Jermaine Renner, returning wealthy, and maybe interested in helping follow up on those public affairs laws.
Kevin Elliott, I do Joshua Trian on Tuesday nights, and I'm a full country and bluegrass genre director in the East Community.
I am Mark Neiswater. I'm the board of directors secretary, and I do airship crew training.
I'm Vicki Neiswander. I do Disability Beat Mondays 5:30 to 6 p.m. and I also am on the board and do airship training as well.
Do we want to pepper?
Let's do it. Yeah.
Name's Eric Rosen, I go by Jet Sterling on Circular Creek Radio on Thursdays from 6 to 7.
Jason Cross, Pastor Pat Franklin.
And then Bill for board member and for airshipper and no one for the
Emily, I'm the station manager.
I'm Ryan, I do Thursday morning menu, and I also do set the coffee, Sunday night, Monday morning, 12 a.m. to 2 a.m. And I work at the station.
Regina Peluso, I am the other co-host of Women Making Waves on Sunday. I'm on the PC, I'm actually the chair of the and Barb is the secretary. You did not mention. So, hi.
And Ricardo, over the edge, Wednesday nights at midnight, and vice chair of the board of trustees.
Al Kurtz, Big Al's Community Chat, every second and fourth Wednesday evening at 8 p.m.
Eunice Buckley, I do high ground, alternate with Aaron and Carol Evans. I've been doing this for over 20 years. I don't know. I used to be on the PC, but I'm now on the PC.
Hi, I'm Vinay Gupta. I host East of Europe music for the Eastern Hemisphere.
I'm Bob Allred, I host From Heartbreak Pay, which is Friday morning at 12, all female rock show, and on music as well.
I'm Andy Eisman. I do Civil Disobedience, which is Tuesday nights, midnight to 2 a.m., so it's kind of Wednesday morning. And I'm on the board of directors, and I'm the archivist.
I'm Bill Saylor, I sublocation.
I'm Jim Johnson. I don't have a home yet. I'm a brand new airship, so.
And there's you.
Yes, I'm Ben Schwarzy. I'm the secretary of the AEC. I've subbed a few times, a long time ago, but I've never had my own show.
That's all of us.
Yeah.
And my count says we need 13 for a quorum, and I'm not even gonna bother counting because I think we got it covered. So, the next thing on the agenda is the agenda itself. It's the front side of the yellow sheet, and we've got reports, we've got voting, we've got announcements, and yes, Todd.
Is this where we point out things that maybe don't look quite right?
You can do that.
Okay.
In fact, if you mark them on your sheet and come sit with me afterwards, it might get transcribed correctly.
Okay, well, some of them are just minutia, and then others actually seem maybe like they should come up before or after the meeting.
Yeah, and then there are things like me fighting with open office.
Right.
Trying to make tables work.
Well, most of them are just people's, I just feel like as a basic show of respect, if people's names are misspelled, they probably should be fixed.
Yes, please.
But, the more important things under, on the back side, it says, Robert was elected by the Associates.
That's wrong.
But he and Sandra both were elected through member elections.
Yes, I have already gotten that.
Okay.
Are we approving the minutes or the?
We're looking.
This is all the same sheet.
Well, it's the agenda. It's all one sheet, but
Okay.
let's focus on the agenda. Is there anything missing from it? We did change the font size in some of it.
Mini has one E, but it's not a big deal.
I'll move to approve it.
We have.
Since I think it is somewhat related to the agenda, for the voting, we have board of directors, 2 seats, but on the back it looks like there's 3 on, oh, maybe.
Well, that's
okay.
Still fuzzy in my mind, so.
Okay, so
what you got was what we had last month.
okay, so maybe we have more seats on the board?
And Al is.
Yeah, I'm still on for some reason.
Yes, I did not.
Even though my term has expired.
Yes, and I just heard that. I forgot, I didn't note it last month, and it didn't make it into the last month's minutes.
I appreciated this.
And we will correct that. So we have a motion to approve the minutes. That is the agenda rather, the left-hand column. It was seconded.
I'll second. Oh, it hasn't.
Never mind. It was seconded. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Sounds unanimous. And the next item is to approve September's minutes, which is the green sheet. We managed to get them uploaded to the website, and I sent email out to WEFT A and O, so you may have actually seen them already. And we'll take a few moments to let you, those who haven't seen them, look them over.
I'm not sure that I'm on the public relations committee. It's on.
But you were mentioned
Okay, I'm
as
sorry.
doing archiving stuff.
That's fine, okay, I thought I was just like, but I'm sorry, okay, that's fine. I just thought I was keeping me in there. I am.
Mike, could you fix the spelling of my last name?
I could.
At 821 in election results, should be Liuso.
It's also at 828 and every other time.
Okay, global substitute. That's Liuso.
Thank you, Mike.
I would add the same for Vicky and Paul, if that's okay.
Okay, do we have? Any other amendments? Hearing none, do I hear a motion to approve as amended? Or do you have more?
I was going to second the original motion, but.
Well, I wasn't doing the moving.
Something about Al already moved it.
Al moved.
I moved the home.
Oh, that was right at the beginning, that's right.
Well, I had already.
Very good.
So if I can second as amended
Yes.
without somebody re-motioning.
I'll second.
I'll second. I'll second.
All right. Have a third.
Anyone, yes, let's vote. Yay?
Aye.
Aye.
Any nays? No nays, okay. So, now, reports. And I actually itemized who the reports were from, so I didn't have to guess. I could just go down the list this time. So, Vicki, do you have a board report for us?
Sort of. Mostly what I'm gonna do is just beg. So, first of all, you'll note in the agenda that there are several seats available for AUC, for programming committee, and there are actually 4 open seats for the board of directors. And I really, really want to encourage anyone who has an hour to give during the month to please consider serving in one of those seats for programming committee or for the AEC. You can run for those seats tonight. If you are interested in a board seat, it's a little bit more complicated, but please see me and let me know if you are interested, because we really are in need of some good people to help motivate us and keep moving us forward. So that's number 1. Second thing is on January 29th, we're going to be hosting a community advisory board meeting, and this will be the first meeting of what we hope will be a great group of community members who are not WEFTs to help inform, advise, and keep us connected to the community. That group will meet only twice a year, And the first meeting is coming up really quickly. So if you know a really strong community member, somebody who's really engaged and involved in the community, and you think they ought to be invited, please let me know who that is and contact information for them, because we are developing that list as we speak. Third thing is a little bit more begging. WEFT-O, if you are an air shifter and you are not on WEFT-O, that is a problem. The things that come over WEFT-O are WEFT operations, and so when the tower ices up and the levels are acting goofy like they did last week, you need to know that, because if you go in the studio and you see the power is reduced and start raising power, you could do serious damage to the transmitter. So please contact Lainey, add your name to WEFT-O, and you can even get it in a digest form so that you don't have to read all the emails, but it's really, really critical that people be on that. And in the same vein, the WEFT Weekly Essentials is there to help reduce the amount of email that you have. Last I checked, the average percentage of people who even opened it, much less read it, was right around 25%. So please, I try to make it as easy as I can for you. I even have a little table of contents at the top, and if you click on those things, those are links to lower in the newsletter, and it's not a really long thing. So please keep informed and keep updated. Join the WEFT-O listserv, read your WEFT Weekly Essentials, and a couple more things to beg and then I'm done. I need in-studio trainers in a big way. The world music people have been carrying us for a long time, and a couple blues folks have been training, but we need people in the evenings and on the weekends who are experienced air shifters, who follow FCC rules and regulations, who use their headphones, who feel confident using the equipment. So, please consider. It's been a real struggle finding times for people to train on air, and I really need a lot of help in that area. So again, see me if you are able to do that. We'll be scheduling another training toward the end of January, beginning of February, so that's the next opportunity. It really isn't a bad thing to do. It's only 3 times a year that we do trainings, and sometimes people get trainees and sometimes they don't. And then the last thing I have is Spring Pledge Drive. Yeah, it's coming in March, and I put an email out asking for people who might be willing to come to a few meetings to plan Spring Pledge Drive, and so far it's only me. So if you are interested, this is a short-term commitment. It's only a couple months, meeting, maybe 4 or 5 times during that period, and anybody who has had ideas about how we can make our pledge drives better, we would love to have you there. Again, just talk to me or shoot me an email after the meeting, and we'll figure out a date that works for people. That's all.
Al.
Yeah, I have something to add. For the Spring Pledge Drive, we should have voiceovers from Madison Press.
Awesome.
To give us a boost. As you know, I've already given some things from Madison.
Right,
And
yeah.
I was online with the new manager. And he has said that they're working on voiceovers right now.
Great. And she did donate some stuff, some poster and record albums and CDs and so forth. And so we have to figure out, as the Pledge Drive committee, how we're going to make the most of that stuff. So really important work to be done.
And I've also asked if she might do a concert here again. She did.
Is that public knowledge now?
No, not yet. It hasn't been confirmed, is it?
She did, Al's kids are friends with Allison Krauss. And so he's been making that connection. And she did a concert for Crisis Nursery 5 years ago, sold out in an hour and made them $54,000 clear. So we really want this to happen. We really need it to happen. So that's really exciting. Thank you, Al, for doing
Thank you.
that.
Thank you.
Question?
Yeah.
Or comment?
I wonder if the board feels they learned anything, or if you've changed policies or procedures regarding discipline, specifically thinking about the world labor hour incident.
So if we learned anything?
Yeah, do you think you handled that situation correctly?
No, I don't think we handled it well. I don't. I'll be
Are
honest
you
with
making
you.
some changes in the way you handle discipline around the station?
We will absolutely, yes. We're gonna have that conversation. So, yeah.
And you keep us appraised of this conversation?
You're welcome to come to any board meeting. And, or listen online, Andy broadcasts, the web streaming
I've come to
things.
several, and I'm listening to several Andys,
And I always put the,
many of those are posted on the website and stuff, so that people can go back and listen.
sure, and I always put the, board report in the WEFT Weekly Essentials every month. Only 25% of people read it, so there you go.
Because there's been some other issues, Tom Davis is gone, and we're in the dark about that as well. I hear there's been other disciplinary letters gone.
Said he was doing his
There's
own
been others.
show, as I heard him say that on the way in.
Stan personally chose to give up his show, had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, that was
Right.
Right, and I didn't say Stan, did I?
No,
Tom
I
Davis.
didn't. I didn't.
I can't think of any more letters than the people you've mentioned, so I don't know.
I think somebody
Yeah.
got one a couple of weeks ago,
I don't believe
on a
so.
Monday.
Huh?
Paul.
Well, I'm so glad to hear that we're actually streaming the meetings. I mean, there used to be a camera here that I think Gene provided or something.
Oh, that wasn't from the board, but, yeah.
I stream the board meetings and I've tried to start doing associates, but I just have,
These are boring.
well, no, I think they should all be accessible because sometimes people
Yeah.
can't make it for a reason.
Yeah.
But I don't have a specific microphone. I want to talk to someone
I
after
just
that.
wanted to point out that, there was an earlier expulsion, and a lot of it was related to an argument about transparency and about streaming and recording the board meetings. And Sandra Otten actually withdrew at one point because she felt she was mischaracterizing the meetings and there was no reason that they shouldn't be recorded. But I wanted to do a mea culpa too. I had an earlier incident with Bill Burrell and settled it informally. We had a non-contact rule that went for about 4 or 5 months because he was exploded when I suggested something about, well, I don't want to do that on the record particularly. We got into it about that, and so we had a non-contact. And I really feel like, I feel a failing on my part, but it's not just my part, that there should have been a recourse for me to actually go to bring that up somewhere and try to have it resolved some way. And I feel like if I had done that, or if there'd been a way to do that, then maybe, maybe this wouldn't have happened, played out the way it played out. That's part of my Catholic guilt, but anyway. Sin of omission. But anyway, I'm glad to hear everybody's into transparency now and recording stuff because, we are a media organization, and I just threw up my hands and couldn't figure out why people didn't think that these meetings shouldn't be recorded. And we should always have the option of saying, I want this on the record. But generally, the default should be that it should be available to people who are here and people want to go over after the fact. As odd as that might sound.
No, sometimes you were maybe mentioning something to someone else and you missed a part, or you want to go back and make sure to know who to contact or something. Yeah, you're right, it's good reference.
Do we still have some kind of conflict resolution thing or something like that? Didn't we have that 8 to 10
We
years?
do. It doesn't work very well. I mean, the way it's written, it's just not really clear. So I think we have to rework it and figure out a system that's going to work for everybody. That, first there's a complaint, you go to this person, and then talk to the board, and then, whatever. We have to figure that out.
Well, I think
a public suggestion? Can I make a public suggestion that we talk to both sides of the issue before any discipline is handed out?
Yeah. You're right.
So I'd have to say that at least the board was following what is precisely laid down in the bylaws, but this is the station bylaws. But one of the problems we have run across is that the Airshifter and Associates, and that's one of the reasons why I was trying to get at least all the protocol in place, which is now on weftarchives.wordpress.com. You can go there right now, they're all there. And then once we've got all of them kind of together, then we can try to make sure that they mesh well. Because in some of the disciplinary there's a policy, but then there's not enough detail as far as what should happen, or at certain points there's not detail. And so I think we followed with the bylaw state, but it's possible that there's certain points in which I think maybe just there haven't been enough people that have had issues that have gone this route. So there's some areas where it's like, I think this is what happens now, because it's just kind of left, if they want to do this, if you want to do this. And so we're trying to work on trying to make those work with each other and be more clear. But board meetings are always open, so please come. If you want to comment, please come. That's great. I mean, while we're doing this, please help us with that.
And please run for
That too.
Okay. That brings us back to the beginning of it. Does anyone else want to continue on this topic? If not, we can just take our issues to the station manager, whose turn it is to report. Lainey, introduce yourself again.
So I have a couple of handouts which we'll talk about. Just quickly, I wanted to say, kind of off the Vicky, that I know several people have asked me this situation, that situation. I apologize that I can't really do that to you. They are confidential issues, but I was really glad to, I don't know, I can't tell you. So, that's just that note. But anyways, on to my handouts. The first one is info update sheet. We didn't send out postcards this time because we get so many of them back that we're wasting some money in paper and stamps. So you guys can just make sure your contact info on here is correct, the right email address, or the email address you want to use. I maybe don't use my email address that I had a few years ago, so whichever one you want on there. There's also spots on there where you say how long you've been with WEFT and what your volunteer commitment is with WEFT. And as you see, and all of us are working really hard to get all of our ducks in a row, get everything documented and everything figured out. So that will help all of us a ton. So there's that. Another sheet you have is just an anonymous feedback form. I read this, so you can give it to me, or I can translate it to the board or whatever, but they're anonymous. Feel free to give any feedback on there that you feel needs to be given, or ideas or whatever. And then the last sheet, right now we sent out our winter field letters. We've gotten a few back, but like always, WEFT needs money. You fundraise and have money to move forward. So on here is just an idea of how you can help, even though we may not have a huge check to hand over to WEFT. I personally don't have that much money to offer WEFT, but I do have the gift of gab and the opportunity to spread the word about WEFT. So I think that's really important that you all do spread the word. Each of you brings in one new member per pledge driver, per mailing. It is really a big success for WEFT because each time maybe they donate $40. In a few months, maybe they donate $100. It's a good way to keep spreading the word. So some suggestions I had was, make a Facebook page for your own show. A lot of shows in here have really successful Facebook pages, Twitter pages where they share with their friends, you get a good following. If you're not a social media person, that's cool. You can give ideas to Brian and I, and we can post on social media about your shows. Having this really great guest this week, listen in. We want to highlight the work you're doing and how cool your shows are. You don't want it to just be all that Brian and I think is cool or what we know about. So that's a good idea. Brian and I can help you build social media posts or pages, broken Swedish. The last thing is just to give our schedule cards out and talk about WEFT. I brought schedule cards. I print a lot all the time. I send them to all of our tabling events, but take a stack, leave them at restaurants, give them to your friends. Just, get those to people and hopefully get more support for WEFT. We're doing another Sound House concert. We're doing one with races this weekend. We're really excited. We have some really good performers coming. Brian and I have been working super hard with another volunteer on it. So hopefully we raise some money for them and for us during critical state. We have one coming up with Denise, hopefully in January, to support the Melanoma Foundation. So, yeah.
What kind of concert did you call that? Sound House.
One word, capital sound, lowercase sound.
All right.
Their house concert.
All right. Cool.
So we have that coming up, we're doing the winter mailing, we're getting a little bit, checks are slowly trickling in, not quite like a pledge drive. Any other questions?
I will try to keep this short because I don't want to slow down the meeting, but, all the time I've been at WEFT, even though I think I've heard of all the shows on the schedule, seeing such a full schedule, this is, I think, the fullest I can ever remember seeing it. Even though I knew about all the individual shows at midnight, I did not realize every single night was filled with.
Yeah, we're getting
And it often in the past has taken 3-4 years to update that somebody had a show. So having this current and fresh and full a schedule, I think does wonders for our PR and morale, just my opinion.
I will say that, in the last 6 or so months that I've been here, we've been getting a lot of new faces who are really active and really involved. We've been getting a lot of younger faces and people who, hit the ground running. Bob's the new mayor shifter, Brian is a, we're getting great following. So we always see new faces and roles, so I'm excited.
I could just add one other tiny thing. I've noticed on the new late night shows, the listenership is very high.
Good, yeah.
I don't know how they're doing it, but I hope they can teach people how to get one.
Yeah, almost every overnight show that's doing really well, all of them have a really popular Facebook page. They're sharing it with their friends, and those friends are sharing it. So they're taking off social media. I know everybody needs to hear it, but social media is really, really important these days. Yeah, great.
Okay, no further discussion for Lainey. I know the programming committee is short-handed, but we'll accept a report anyway.
First things first. We're not as short-handed as you think, because I do not have me listed on there.
Yeah, you don't have William listed.
Okay.
We have 2 more members than it says.
Right, Rich Bressler and William Jones were both elected in October.
I'm there for 1 year, I think William's there for 2.
That's William Jones?
William Jones. We were elected by the board.
In October.
In October, and I'm for 1 year from October, and William is for 2 years. So we are short-handed, but not as much as.
Hi.
So I have a list of what we've done in the last quarter. So I'll go through it really briefly. We have 2 openings on the PC, 1 associate elected, so if anybody would like to be on the PC, please run tonight. 1 board elected, the next board meeting is, I believe, the beginning of January. So we have 2 openings out of the 9. The end of September meeting, I was elected chair, Ellen was elected vice chair, Barb was elected secretary of the PC. We've got 6 new shows, totally irrelevant, which is one of the middle of the night shows, Alter Ego in the evening, Denise. The Morning Menu Collective, which is doing Monday, Thursday, Friday mornings. And then See Progressive News, which is like an outshot of those 3 shows where they're editing things down. We're currently airing See Progressive News Saturday 11 to 12. And while Friday 4 is on hiatus, we're airing it Monday 6 to 7. Ryan's a new show for Coffee and Bob's new show from our place. We have a bunch of shows that have also ended in this quarter. The Dead Hour and The Vault is gone. That Saturday night slot from 8 to 10 is available. The Labor Hour, we heard earlier, is gone. Again, we're currently filling 1 hour of the old Labor Hour show with Steve Progressive News. We're continuing to air the Union and so that we still have some of the labor credits. Artistic license, Robert has decided that he needs to give that up, so Saturday from 4 to 5 is open. Smile Politely has aired his last show. So Friday night, 5:30 to 6, which is part of the Courier version. I found a show on audio court that we'll have this Friday, that we'll have the PC meeting next week. And we'll see if that's a good information show to fill that slot. And then Stan, the Midwash, tonight is his last show. So Wednesday, 6 to 8 is going to be available after tonight. Shows that have changed, there's been a lot of commotion about Deutsche Welle News. They changed their format, some people like it, some people don't. We're trying to find something else that might be comparable, and or people don't think it sucks that bad, we'll just leave it on. So if you have any opinion on that, please let me know.
What's the part of the issue that it was much shorter, much longer?
They're only 3 minutes now, and there's really no lead-in that says, you know, welcome to Deutsche Welle, and there's no lead-out, there's just this funky electronic, I'm sorry, electronic music is not funky. There's a funky funky in my mind is not funky. So there's like a little jingle in the beginning, and there's like some sound bites in the back of people are talking, so it's a little bit weird. But,
Let me comment on it, because I was the one who originally brought it, and Denise and I think the only people in the morning that have to do it, because the other, now.
They play too.
I mean, the others they do news, so they probably don't have to, but they do. But it's, and the funny thing is, the first time they did it was on my show on a Wednesday, and it was the day after the election. And their 3-minute show was like, huh? Donald Trump got elected, and that was it. That's all they did. There was no lead-in, there was no outro, and there was people gambling all in the background. It was so weird. But since then, they've done what Gina said. They just come on, they do a 3-minute show that is actually good. Now, they do headlines from all around the world, but there's no intro and there's no outro. But it's 3 minutes, which is okay. I don't have any problem. But it's not as good as the 5-minute show. But they just stopped that without telling us. They just stopped it.
So yeah, if anybody has comments about that, you know, that they
There's
know.
So do you think they're just expecting like us to live intro and outro as we see fit? Maybe.
Could be.
Create their own.
Yeah.
I mean, I do an intro the second time. I don't do it the first time.
There have been a couple of suggestions made on the CD listserv.
Oh, good.
Passed along.
Great, yeah, the only one that I found that was free is Voice of America, and it's kind of like CNN-ish, so. My next thing is that we're still trying to nail down the PC member length of term, but it looks like, based on the sheet, we think it's 2 years. So.
Not based on bylaws or
It's not on the
SOPs or
bylaws.
anything else.
The SOP doesn't say, the PC SOP does not say how long a member's term is. It says how long an officer's term is, but it doesn't say how long a member's term is. So, I don't know, maybe it's something we need to talk about, because it doesn't say. So I think, I don't know where the 2 years came from. I'm just pushing it out.
My experience from years of being on PC and various committees, 2 years was what it was.
It's just not in the
It's
SOP.
like passed down.
But that's a good detail to include in the SOP, that's the best practice, yeah.
You may defer to the electing body.
I'm sorry?
That term length might defer to the electing body.
It's not in any of the SOPs that I've read so far. I can't find it. Okay, we talked about the 2 openings on the PC. It looks like, based on this, we don't know when Barb's term ends. So if anybody knows when Barb was going to the PC.
She's a legacy.
If it's too much of a problem, Barb could just resign and run again.
I wouldn't give her the option.
So maybe we'll add that to the board agenda for next month. Okay, yeah.
On the PC issue of news headlines in the morning, some stations that don't air Democracy Now! In the morning do air the headlines. The problem with that is they're variable length. You don't have to do the outro. But it's a very clearly defined outro. And I think that would be a great thing. Stations like KDNA in St. Louis, what are they called now? KDHX. Air that, and then they announce where you can watch it, which I think is pretty lame personally, but playing the headlines in the morning would be arguably a very good thing.
How, do you know how long they are?
They run from 6 to 9 minutes, I think, roughly. Though I'm not quite sure on
Thanks, Paul.
that.
Check it. We're working on new documentation. I sent out on WEFT the new air shifter SOP that had been started by the PC quite a while back. There's also a couple of printed versions of it in the station stuck into the corkboard. So if you have any opinion on that, I'd love to hear it, feedback, whatever. I was hoping we could vote on that tonight, but it's not on the agenda. So you've got 3 months to take a look at it and let us know if you have any issues, concerns, problems, updates, suggestions, whatever. And then hopefully we can vote on it in March.
If you don't have any suggestions, you should read it anyhow, because it tells you what you should be doing.
That's on the handbook guide thing, or?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, air shifter SOP, so it kind of takes the place of the contract.
Right.
And it's been in the works for months. So it's out there. If anybody would like a copy of it, let me know. But I did send it out via WEFT, and there are a couple copies in the station. We have put together new program proposal forms. One for music, it combines everything into one. It does call out morning menu, it calls out world, it calls out all the different strip programs. And then there's one for public affairs. So rather than chasing 6 forms around, we have 2. They're already on the website and they're in the book, in the programming committee binder in the back studio if anybody needs one or wants one. Brian's working on a how-to booth, kind of like standard operating procedures for how to pull up Deutsche Welle, how to pull up, all the different shows.
Is there any recommendations? Is there anything that you think requests of information, something that maybe might not be apparent to an air shifter, let you know, and I'll put that on.
And then Brian's going to run that by the PC before it gets published, just to make sure that we're all in agreement that makes sense. We're also working with Laney to update the member database to include volunteering, membership dues paid, committee memberships, expiration of terms, training completion, associate meeting attendance, so that we kind of have everything in the same place for the associates, the air shifters. Barb's working on updating the day sheets so that they're a little bit more up to date. She's trying to work with Laney to make sure the underwriting is correct. So that when you're asked to check that off, it actually makes sense for your show. We're also considering the PCSOP, as we quickly discussed, doesn't really list the terms of membership. It also doesn't talk about podcasts or drop-ins. There's no documentation that defines what those are or who manages them. So the PC is going to be looking at either doing another SOP for those or incorporating it into the PC SOP. And we can do like maybe one big generic change and throw in everything that needs to be updated or fixed at that point. There were some letters that got sent out to a few air shifters. We had listener complaints, we had guest complaints, we had other air shifter complaints about people not leaving the booth on time, people not ending their shows on time, and the possibility of someone being intoxicated on the air that a listener called in and complained. So there were 3 people that got letters, and I do want to mention while I have floor, please end your shows on time. I'm listening to shows on Radio Free America while I'm doing my day job, and I'm getting 5 minutes of overlap from the show before when I try to tune into Women Making Waves, or when I try to tune into the Blues Show, or when I try to tune into the Sunday morning shows. Sometimes it's a minute, sometimes it's 5 minutes, sometimes it's 15 minutes. So please try to end your shows on time because people are listening via RFA. And if we're not ending our shows on time, they may go, hey, I'm expecting to hear reggae. Why am I hearing a talk show? So please try to end your shows on time or close to on time. That would be great.
This hadn't even occurred to me until just now. I've never been 100% clear with web sessions and Local 901 airing back to back when to tell people there are 2 totally separate shows and when to tell people it's a 2-hour show and half of it is live. Since taking over in 2004, sort of reversed an earlier policy where the previous host would cut the band off at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock because it was 11 o'clock. But because the band very often, for no fault of their own, is not able to get through sound check, or there are numerous reasons that they might not start right at 10. I've always said as long as Mike is okay with it and has room on his recording, that I'm okay with them going a few minutes over. But if I need to stop granting them that permission, if we are viewing it as two separate local shows and bleed over is not allowable, then I can change that.
I don't think anybody's asking you to change that.
Okay.
And I think that, that's it's an interesting case because it is a live band show, and I know that you're never going to get it dead nuts.
Okay, good.
If your listeners don't have a problem with listening to the last 5 minutes, or the people who are listening to web sessions miss the last 10 minutes, I mean.
Sure.
Or you could say this is, whatever the 11 o'clock show is, it's starting now, but we're continuing with the band.
I like that.
Yeah.
Well, I've generally, because it's me doing divisions of my block,
Right.
and I think of it like Neapolitan ice cream, but it's one thing for me to say, end the local music at 12 and start the 1940s music at 12, but I would hate to take it out on a band that's only there that 1 week and can't.
Yeah.
Okay, good, cool.
2 more things and then I'm out of here. There's also been complaints about air shippers not leaving the booth once their show is done, so please, unless you're invited to stay in the booth, or you have a rapport with the next host and you're doing some kind of a crossover, please respect the next air shipper and get yourself together and get out of the booth in as timely a fashion as possible. There have been lately a bunch of calls to action have been heard on the air, telling listeners what to do. Go to the store and buy brand X. Go to this show, you won't regret going. We can't tell people what to do. We can suggest, we can say for more information, but we shouldn't be telling our listeners what to do. So just keep that in mind.
That's an FCC guideline, by the way. That's not just our policy. That's the FCC, while we have a license, is dependent on that.
That applies to commercial entities? Could I say, call your senator, contact your senator about this issue?
I don't know, that seems like a good question.
That's a good question.
Because you don't tell them what to say to the senator, you're just saying, because on my shows about disobedience, I often say, like, just whatever side you're on, just get involved. I think you should get on, get your voice out, whatever it is. But is that
If you're interested in this issue, you can.
Right, but not call or go or buy or listen or.
What do you call
What
the
a
book when you didn't listen?
You can probably say Sounds like an excellent topic for the weekly essentials, a little paragraph on call to action.
Yeah.
Just a reminder.
Absolutely.
It sounds like you could say what you are going to do.
Yes.
I plan to go out and buy Cheers. No perfume, but that's me. You can do what you want to do.
And my last thing is, we are in another political election cycle here. We do have a couple of air shifters that are running for office. One of them has other opponents and has gracefully stepped back to a production only role, thank you, so that person is not on air and has a guest host that will be filling that position until the election cycle is over. The other one at this point doesn't have any opponents, so as long as that person's not talking in politics, we should be okay. But please note that there are a bunch of people running for office, and if you have someone on to interview, if they're running for office, that opens WEFT up to offering all of your opposing candidates airtime, equal airtime. So if you have someone that you're interviewing at 8 o'clock on Thursday night, we would have to offer all of their opponents that same time and the same length of time, So, if you know that you're thinking about interviewing someone that's running for office, maybe just run it by Vicki and/or Mark before you do that, just so that we make sure we're in compliance with the SEC rules.
Well, I've already interviewed, Diane Mirren this past Saturday, and I extended an invitation to the person who's Republican who's running for mayor for that. And also I extended an invitation to, Dr. Edwin Underwood, and she's scheduled to be on. I haven't heard from the Republican yet, and I will be inviting Laura Cousin. So,
You got it
I've already
covered.
done that.
Great, thank you.
But I didn't ask you first.
That's okay, as long as we got it covered. We just want to make sure we're following FCC guidelines.
Okay.
Thanks, everybody. Any questions? I think I should have known.
Thank you, listening to questions, that was very informative.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Music, is there any music?
Gentlemen. I could give a quick update. I was a bit up on vacation tonight, so I don't really have any complaints, but music committee is working on updating our SOP right now. We tabled it probably for the beginning of the new year. Keep working on bringing music into the station and helping get music that's ready to leave the station, out of the station as well. We're undertaking some projects to try to better utilize spin data. So not only reporting on our social media outlets, what's playing and what we've been doing lately, but also being able to take information from the digital archive, what music is at the station. Just basically making the data more accessible for air shifters, what we have here and what we're playing. And then I missed the December meeting, but we're in the process of filling the rock genre director. Sounds like Bob is.
Already halfway there, yeah.
That's all I have to do.
We're gonna have a Christmas party, right?
Oh yeah, that's why I have our annual end of the year holiday party, probably December 19th is what we're looking at, 6:30. Anyone's welcome to come. We should grab some pizzas and some beverages.
Maybe we should ask for an alcohol exemption for that night.
That would be delightful.
It's tradition.
Yeah, well, our board meeting next board meeting is on December, January
9th?
9th, something like that.
So you're saying we're too late?
We'll talk.
Anyone else from the music committee?
Call for an emergency board meeting.
Release the king.
Release the king.
What they're going to do is getting things more organized, better, getting stuff on the air.
Has that original hard drive that had all the Zara stuff that kind of broke, is that back?
It's on the scope, but it should be done by the end of the year.
Oh, what a good segue into digital library. Hold on a second.
David Simon
hang on.
is actually the chair of that, so.
Okay. Can I get your name? Yeah.
Anthony Santorelli.
Okay. Thank you.
Go ahead. So the Digital Library Committee, we did get a new computer in the Great Hall, running Windows 7, had most responses and been very positive, much faster, cleaner and stuff like that. We've had a lot of issues with the streaming recording computer, just a lot of weird things happened lately, last 3 months or something. But we're actually, Bruce just fired up a replacement for it yesterday, so we're running some testing on that, probably for 2 weeks or something like that, and if it's working as expected, we may make that swap out before the end of the year as well. What was your question earlier about the Zara drive?
The Zara drive, I know.
Dave and Bruce agreed to work on that together. We're still using my old original loaner 60 gig hard drive, which is way too small and it's full. And every time I put something on there, it tells me we're out of space, so we gotta take something off or whatnot. But we got a 500 gigabyte hard drive, I think, or 650 gigabyte, that Bruce and Dave Watsani are gonna work on, hopefully by the end of the year. Actually, Dave is gonna do another collection of files off of our collecting computer down in the basement. I don't think anybody really contributes to it, other than Barb and myself and Fred and Bruce. But you folks are certainly welcome to if you want to join in on the fun of ripping MP3s for us. But yeah, Dave's gonna get that done here hopefully in the next week or two, and then after that, him and Bruce are gonna build up the bigger Zara drive. Hey, Dad.
Speaking of the new computer, when I was in there Saturday night, I forgot about it till today, till just now. The computer was registered as being in 2007, and it was like 6 to 7 hours off and days off.
Yeah,
So, and then also the computer in.
You couldn't even get on the internet because it said all the security certificates were expired.
But then the other thing.
But I fixed that Monday night.
Okay, well, I just, like I said, I just remembered it now.
Okay.
But then the other thing was that I noticed that the monitor in the studio was a beautiful magenta.
Yeah.
You moved the monitor.
I tried moving the monitor, I tried moving the cable, but it stays magenta.
I got another cable.
Yeah,
I brought another one in the other day.
But the new computer is quite snappy. Now, the last thing that I asked is if we're working with a 60 gigabyte hard drive, now, I would be willing to give $10 toward a terabyte drive. If there's like 6 to 8 more people willing to do that, we can get a terabyte drive.
It hasn't been
Now the question is,
lack
does
of
that
having
computer?
a hard drive, it's been the lack of having volunteer hours to put in on these projects.
Well, yeah, but
what we have is working, and we're working on other projects we feel are.
Well, I guess the other question.
Priority right now.
The other question
If you
wait a
come
second.
to a digital library meeting and volunteer some hours, we'd be happy to put you to work, Ed.
That's not what I was talking about. You just didn't listen to what I was saying. You know, and I understand what you're saying.
$10 towards a 1 terabyte hard drive.
Well, but then it was gonna follow up, can that computer even handle a 1 or 2 terabyte drive? I know some computers, I don't know how old it is, some computers can't. You know, I mean, if it's just computers, memory space, you know, it seems to me that we ought to be able to find at least 6 to 10 people who could chunk in $10 and buy a terabyte hard drive. Now, when you get down to actually getting people to rip things, that's different.
We have a hard drive sitting there. It's a lack of having the volunteer hours to put in. As I said, Dave Watsani's working on another project first. When he's done with that, him and Bruce are going to work on building up that bigger hard drive. We have it in hand already.
Okay.
So it's not a matter of having the money. We're working on about 5 projects at once. Bruce has been putting in a bunch of hours. I've put in a bunch of hours with the recent problems we've had with the streaming and recording computer. I spent hours in there working on that stuff. I don't have a lot more time to put into building up that Zara drive, you know. Bruce has been way overworked lately, you know, fixing problems and stuff. So it's a matter of us having the time put in to get the project done.
And the good news is you don't have to be elected to the digital library.
No, you don't.
You just join.
Can people who have time talk to Bruce and Dave about helping them, or talk to somebody about working on the other projects so that there's 2 projects going at the same time?
Yes.
Certainly.
That's what we talked about at least a month ago at that meeting, and yes. I know they're looking for even people just to do many things, just digitizing stuff where, you know, like whatever genre you're in or whatever.
I get a week off from work.
Okay. There's actually another project, which is the back studio project.
Right, and I was gonna mention that next.
All right.
Which is Anybody that's actually using the old board in the back studio for anything other than auditioning CDs?
Was that recovered so it worked again, or?
If you bump it, it'll send buzz to the power amp. If you listen through headphones, you won't hear that. And I just turned the power amp off. But I'm just gonna rip the whole thing out sometime in the next couple of weeks, because I got a whole new board to go in there. It's much smaller and more complicated. So there's going to be some training effort involved, and I'll try to just make up nice color photos and circles and arrows on how to use it. And it may take several weeks from the time we rip the old one out until we have everything reconnected to the new one. But the new one should go in pretty quickly and at least let you do microphones, CDs, and a recorder of some sort.
This is much smaller, does it have less capabilities?
Oh, it has
Okay.
all the same capabilities. It's just a much smaller package.
How old is that board?
It's
Classic.
80s,
Yeah, that's what I was
90s
using.
vintage.
Actually, that's newer than I thought it was.
Yeah, oh, you should have seen what the one that was replaced by it.
Oh, yeah, well, one was replaced by it.
It had vacuum
Incredibly
tubes.
So,
Anyway,
in the
yes.
meantime, where will we preview CDs before our show?
Well, there's that little player in the back of the Great Hall, and we could set up yet another one. I think Laney offered to put something in there just for previewing.
Okay, I don't know if the one in the back hall has like the skip where you can skip ahead like 10 seconds, something like that, yeah. As long as there's something.
We'll find something.
Yeah, we'll still put something in the back.
Yeah.
For you guys to use down space.
Yeah.
We'll have that for to use.
Yeah,
We'll
I'll-
get something else. Oh, do you want me to be able to skip this song or fast forward?
Fast forward to preview, so if I'm studying a show and I'm not familiar with a certain song, I like to kind of skip through a few times, preview it, so as long as there's something in there. For that. Also, while I have the floor, some of the comments, Barb and Bob over there, might be good to send around a sign-up sheet for just volunteer hours for the Digital Library Committee, kind of whenever we do it with time, not necessarily being on the committee for that full commitment, but just doing kind of a side project, so we can, throw in some hours if we have a couple hours we wanna,
Not just
anything like that.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're
Committee.
talking about.
I know that there's a bunch of stuff that needs to be shelved. It went from the booth to the shelves, but it hasn't gotten to the shelves yet, so I know that there are a couple boxes at least that need to be shelved.
Where are those boxes? That's totally something I can do when I'm doing.
One is in the back booth at least, and one of them is downstairs in the music room.
Are they marked as needing to show?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
On this sheet, on your update info sheet, there's a spot to say you want to be involved with something or want to be a part of the project. You can put that on there all the way through all of them, and then give the info to the right person, if maybe that would work for everybody.
We can set that up at the station.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that.
Okay. Anything on public relations?
So they're not meeting currently, they're kind of doing ad hoc. There was only a couple people consistently showing up. So we always talk via email anyway, so, we are doing Sound House Conference as part of the PR committee. We're still posting Facebook, social media, Twitter, and Instagram. We are still doing tabling events. We're doing one this Sunday at the People's Agenda. We're talking about independent media. We're doing the City of Champaign's Great Holiday Elf Hunt. I know that might sound silly, but we're part of their map and their game card for the City of Champaign, so we're stop on it. So people can't turn in their game card unless they come to WEFT. So if they come to WEFT, they get a scheduled card. So I'm just trying to get more faces in the door, more people knowing about it. So we're doing that. Yeah. Fall pledge drives are here. That was part of PR committee's job. So if there's premium that you are expecting, come and see us, we'll tell you back here or at the station at your mailbox.
And those who are interested in PR, the spring pledge drive can counts as that.
Anything else on?
I have something that's connected to all those things.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know if you'll know, but I made a website for the archives. It has all the current SOPs on there. It has all of the links to y'all's shows on there, a section. It has all of the documents that are just basic forms, like a band's coming in, you need them to sign something. That's on there in a section. So it's weftarchives.wordpress.com, and I've got a section for basic resources, which tells you about the Facebook account, or Twitter account, or Instagram, or YouTube. Those are station website, and then it sends you over to basically people's shows. I've got a section for institutional materials, which is the audio recordings of the board of directors and associates meetings here. The document, the SOPs is one, and send you over to the FCC if you have any questions about that type of stuff. Then I've got WEFT Media, so it's got the wireless issues that are up there. It's got a section where the podcasts are on SoundCloud, iTunes. It's got our Spinatron. It has our connection to Radio Free America. I've also got some of the people's shows that are on archive.org. So basically, you're supposed to go there and you can kind of find everything you need that we've been talking about already, or that kind of thing. Also, like the music committee, the old one we had is from 2006. So whenever I get the newest one, I'll put that up there too.
What was that web address again?
weftarchives.wordpress.com.
Plural archives?
Yes, because I feel that there's a institutional station kind of archives, and then there's kind of something separate.
Thanks, Ian.
Anybody want to run for office?
I want to make sure I understand something before the part of the meeting.
Okay.
Okay. The way I am reading this, there are currently only 6 board members continuing. Is that right? 6?
That is not correct.
No.
Robert is still a board member until June of 2017. He's a member elected.
Okay.
And so
there's 7.
that is incorrect, but we have only 7 board members.
So we have 1 associate slot available and possibly 2 member slots available?
We absolutely have 2 member slots there.
Okay. I would like to run for the associate slot.
For the board of directors?
Yes.
Cool.
Well.
I would like to second him.
Thank you.
And I'm listening for more nominations.
Go ahead and nominate people for member slots. Or, I don't want to run. I don't want to take away anybody else's lollipop and prevent people from running.
Yeah, we could actually, go ahead and run for the member slots as well.
I think in the past I'd asked if there was anybody even willing to be nominated because there's no point otherwise. Jermaine, would you consider it?
Yeah.
Oh, well then I'll nominate Jermaine.
For a member's slot. We have a second.
I'll second that.
Yep. 2 seconds. Writers.
Ryan?
Anyone else? Going twice? 3 times.
Before you close the nominations, Denise, would you
Yes, I was
willing?
going to suggest Denise. Do you just
Member slot.
I think that's all that's left.
Yeah. So, does anybody want to make it competitive? No, we have had competitive elections in the past. None in the recent past.
There's only 2 people.
There's
Pardon?
3. There's
Three.
Tom, Jermaine, and Denise.
Denise, Jermaine, Todd. Todd will be
Yeah.
our associate.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, yeah.
We're
That's
aiming you at the
exactly.
associate slot and Denise and Jermaine at the member elected slot.
Denise, who?
Curie.
He's trying to get names.
How do you spell your last name?
Curia.
Just put all of them.
This just
Alter.
proves that begging does work.
Yeah, member elected.
Well, please
Okay.
works too.
Well, normally at this point, we will take statements from the candidates.
Okay,
They can be concise.
I can still rethink this.
Not in front of us, please.
I'll make a short statement so that I don't have time to reconsider. I feel my batteries are recharged. Sandra recently made it sound like the station would close if people didn't step up, and I think I can devote an hour a month, 2 hours a month.
Maybe 3, but.
Yeah. I don't want to stand by if we're at a tipping point where inaction would hurt us. So if the seat is otherwise vacant, I think I could at least give it another try.
You've been on the board before, so you know what you're getting into.
I know, that's, yeah, I do.
Exactly right.
I have very much enjoyed my time to recharge, but I think I can devote the necessary resources again.
And you're absolutely right on target to say, you know, that we're in serious trouble.
I do care. I can't really imagine, I have every intention of staying in Champaign, but Champaign would feel really weird without a WEFT. So I want to do what I can to make sure that doesn't happen.
Next. I feel like I was on the board, and you know, as happens sometimes, you know, go through periods and you have other commitments that come up, and you have to stay those. But I've come to a period of life where things are opening up a little more, and Todd has been encouraging me to get back involved and to really.
I didn't necessarily say board until, go ahead.
And Todd keeps telling me about a picture he has, and I'm not sure what he's gonna do with it, so anyway, I'm really excited to get back. I really like to focus on, you know, fundraising. I love doing, and I'd like to try to make things better and improve.
Well, you know, I'm relatively new at WEFT. I've been here coming up on 4 years now. I was on the programming committee for 2 years, but I was ready for a change. And I'm looking forward to becoming more involved with WEFT. And again, I want to make sure, as much as I possibly can, that, you know, WEFT continues. And I just feel it's a big part of the community. And I know there have been a lot of changes the last several months at WEFT, you know, some good, some better, some not so good. And I don't know, I just want to make sure that things remain transparent and that, you know, not any particular group or one person tries to dominate anything. And I just, yeah, that's it.
Good to me.
So just to clarify, the member elected seats would be Jermaine and Denise, right?
Mm-hmm.
So those would be expiring 6/18.
June
June.
2008.
Yeah, because we're filling the seat that wasn't filled
Correct.
in
Yeah.
the June mail-based elections to the membership,
Right,
which we didn't have any candidates at the time.
correct.
Would mine just be 2 years, or would it be a partial term?
Yours
In
is
2018.
2 years.
Okay,
Yeah.
just want to know what I'm getting into.
What's your name?
Says the chair or director shall be 2 years or until a successor has been duly elected.
It might just be to 6/16 because the ballots were going to be mailed for that election in May.
6/16.
6/16. No, Rob?
Right.
Oh, you're right, okay, so when I was right the first time, 6/18.
6/16 would be a very light commitment.
I
would totally.
It's been a long day.
We don't fight over that.
Paul, I'd like to ask the candidates, and maybe everybody else to think about it, I've heard some people say that, no, we shouldn't borrow against the building for operating expenses, and I agree with that. But where I'm coming from is, when we had the celebration, the mortgage was paid off, I thought, oh, I think we should use debt creatively, and we should have used it for improving facilities, et cetera, when we had equity like that. So thoughts on that. But the other thing about perhaps a relocation into a space that's, we have an upstairs we can't afford to fix, that sort of thing. My scenario is to move into IMC and to do it in an equity trade-off circumstance, rather than specifically a long-term lease. I heard a lot of groans there, but people like downtown Champaign, but even cost to park there. So, and I live in that. But anyway, and I'm on the board of the IMC, so I guess I should say that. But I don't think it's an unreasonable proposal. I think it's synergistic. We're already talking about synergies. I even have some rooms sort of blocked out in my mind. So I'm just using this as an occasion to raise the issue. So anything that anybody wants to say about it, who's a candidate or not, I guess.
Creative debt solutions are always an interesting topic. And I'm not the gift on economics and finance form, so if you want to travel down that road. In terms of, it's funny, when I was on the board, we had actually discussed some ideas about trying to renovate and get there and create some rental space. Yeah, so.
It's been more recent discussion too.
Good. So I think that there's some room to be created another way that said downtown Champaign. Not only are you expressing the park, but there's other things going on in downtown Champaign.
I haven't been here that long, I'm just thinking about the history, and again, I don't know. I've only been here, 4 years, so I don't know.
I'm going to have a study session about this. I'd be curious, I'd love to have a longer discussion about this, and I think that some of us would be interested in that.
You don't have to raise your hand, I asked you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for that intervention.
So I assume Mike is okay with me going ahead and answering. I remember for WEFT Fest last year, there was talk of taking an event at the IMC and turning it into WEFT Fest. And I remember a number of people making the point that the IMC has WRFU and we're distinct stations. I like the idea that we have a friendly relationship, but because that is an Urbana station, WEFT, as far as I know, has always been, and I think I know the history pretty well, a Champaign station, and we're two distinct entities. I would be uncomfortable rushing into moving our facilities into a building with a similar radio station already. So I feel like it might blur the lines between our identities, even though we have some of the same volunteers. So that would not be my first choice, but one reason I want to run for the associate seat is I would like to be accountable to the associates. So certainly anything that a majority of the associates feel strongly about or argue well for, I don't want to say never ever, But, I do think it benefits both WEFT and WRFU to remain distinct entities and not really blur the lines between the two. Does that make sense?
No, but I don't need the answer.
Are there any other questions for any of the candidates?
Yeah, we would. The call sign, when it is with champagne in it even.
Yeah, WEFT Champagne.
So we would have to
legally have
change
to say on here
actually.
WEFT Champagne.
So.
Probably have to change our license.
Yeah, that was, yeah.
So I don't really see how that's a viable solution, but,
No, yeah.
Well, I
Not
always
unless they
say
want to
WEFT
give us
Champagne or
their
Vanna in
name,
the
or they just
environment,
want to be
so,
absorbed
I
by
mean,
us.
You have to have WEFT Champagne together, but you don't have to ignore the rest of the.
well, I mean,
Maybe if they want to be absorbed by us, and then we have some kind of thing from them.
I frequently say, when I'm describing it, champagne or Vanna. I can answer you some other time if you'd rather.
Yeah.
I frequently say Champagne, Urbana, Savoy, Broadlands, but legally Champagne is part of our station ID. We have to give, the rest is merely description. It's not a legal distinction, so.
Well, I think this whole thing is like a total side topic.
I totally agree. We didn't
Well,
get onto the
well,
election.
It's not a side topic.
What,
The
I just
candidates
wanna
are
have
being-
a different, like, study session about it, because right now we're not even really considering the potential of moving, so why are we going into the details of like Urbana and changing the name, you know?
I thought that was actually part of the potential, because we were saying there may be legal issues with their license, or FCC license, so thus maybe the FCC would not allow us to do so, and thus it would not be viable at all. I think that was the discussion.
Yeah.
But I totally agree that we've kind of set up some statements by people, and I do agree that we need to discuss this more, and as you're saying, with the group, but it is getting a bit away from the elections, and I know that people have things to do right now. So maybe we should.
So, yeah, we've got a half an
Yeah,
hour to
statement from
get
everyone on the
through
question.
potentially 2 more elections. But the board election being the important one, if we are done asking questions of the candidates, in the past, we've traditionally sent the candidates out one at a time so that we could discuss behind their backs their candidacy. Is there anybody that's seriously interested in doing that? Any one associate, and I will go ahead and do that, but I find it cumbersome and awkward process and would rather dispense with it. Anyone? Okay, no one.
Wait, to do what?
Leave the room to discuss the candidates.
Do you want to talk behind Todd's back? We could send him out in the hall for a while and have a private.
Basically, we want a discussion about the people, yeah.
But, I'm not suggesting that we do that, but if anybody really thinks it's important,
Then that's fine, yes.
then we will.
Didn't we encounter this once before? And
We have.
There's some bylaws about how they have to be out unless everybody consents to it, which I guess is.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
Just of your.
I'm asking the inverse, is anybody insist on it? And if not, is there any more questions?
If I could just suggest one thing, I think people are supposed to have the opportunity to say, Denise is awesome, or, Jermaine was a good board chair, or,
You wouldn't believe what Todd did to you.
Denise is awesome.
You wouldn't believe it, Todd.
Okay.
Happy flowers and unicorns.
Indeed.
Rainbows.
Rainbows.
I would like to say one thing about Denise.
Please.
When I was on the board, from the first week Denise was at the station, I remember Vicki kept saying, God, if we only could get her to agree to run for the board. So, not to put anybody on the spot too much, but I think if she's willing, some people have already spoken to expecting good things. Vote of confidence.
You're saying it's possibly it's about time.
I'd say if he's actually willing to do it,
That'd be
I'm
wonderful.
And
Okay. Okay, existing board members do not get to vote.
In either one, or is it?
Pardon?
I forget, I know we're not associates anymore, but are we members still?
Yeah.
Well, technically,
You're
you're
members
still
of what?
associates,
Because I mean,
just
like,
non-voters.
there's one associate elected
It's an
member, and
associate
then the board,
election.
and there's,
Right.
then there's 2 other members.
non-voting associates and otherwise, so.
Even though they're run as members, the
We're still
associates
using
are
our-
elected.
Right.
So,
Yes.
By the way, this little notice here says vote for at most 2 candidates.
Ignore that,
You
please.
said you should ignore
Does it
that.
have 3 slots on it?
That instructions, you
Yeah.
can vote up to 3.
Up to 3. Okay.
And I guess if you don't
enough
want to
ballots,
So, all right.
So who can vote for all 3 of these people?
all 3,
Okay.
and you can vote for 1, 2, all 3, or none.
We can vote for all 3, right?
Okay.
So it's-
Mike, is there a year
Pretty much. Pardon?
Are there any people here that are not full-fledged associates yet, therefore they cannot vote?
That's a good point. If you are at your very first meeting, first time you've been here,
I got it.
you're not yet eligible to vote. So do not take a ballot. But most of us are eligible to vote, except for the board members and paid staff. Oh, Lenny can help. Huh?
Can I make one request before we vote?
Please.
It was kind of a running gag when Jermaine was on the board that he threw out his name. So if maybe you could clarify the names of the candidates so that we
Okay,
know.
I will do that. We have Todd Hunter. That's TODD is Todd. We have Jermaine Raymer. And that's with a J.
It's J.
J.
Jermain.
Jermaine. And Denise. Denise.
And are just first names acceptable?
First names are acceptable. Last names are acceptable. We can have Hunter, that's H-U with an umlaut. N-T-E-R. Raymer, R-A-Y-M-E-R. And Uri, C-U-R-I-A.
I would prefer you not create legal complications that would result in judicial challenges.
Do not challenge the vote talliers.
Oh, you don't want to do that.
And if our PC seat tally is correct, we don't have any associates. We've filled all our seats.
We have 1 PC associate seat open and 1 board associate.
One, okay.
1 associate, 1 board.
Okay, so if there are any nominees for open programming committee seat, the ones, I would entertain them now.
Mike, could I ask one last thing about this election?
You could.
Do we know how many votes are necessary to be elected? Because we need to establish how many people are voting, probably.
Yeah. Can you advise me? You've been the tally meister.
It's 50% plus 1.
50%
Obviously, I don't feel right tallying my own
of the
vote.
voting. 50% plus 1.
The only way you do this is if you get no votes,
So,
the number of yes votes.
Yeah.
And we don't.
Bill, Ed, and Laney, would you help us?
We used to get.
Well,
I know, I
here,
heard.
let me have one. Can I get that one?
I get footballs tonight.
There it is. There's a form to sign as well.
Now what I should do is. No, just line
All right. Going once, going twice, anyone volunteering for election to the programming committee? No. Anyone interested in filling the AEC seat till next March, which is basically helping with that next meeting? Going twice, 3 times, no candidates. All right.
How many times do you need outside of these meetings?
0.
I nominate Bob Lesney.
I'll second that.
I respect you.
Well, we were expecting a respectful declination. Yes.
I just thought the 0 might encourage you.
All right. While the ballots are in process, are there any announcements that anybody has that haven't cropped up already? No announcements. Boy, we can put the ballot talliers on the spot now.
Maybe they'll stare at the house.
Or we can turn the heat up. I've noticed most people are wearing their coats.
Yeah.
Yes. Possible.
Oh, okay. We should find the arms,
Boy, it wore off the ink on this pen more than I did.
Yes.
And still have that much ink in it.
It's a skill. Okay, the last item on our agenda is the announcement of the election results. And I'm pleased to say we have 3 new board members.
What happened?
You were voted out of office! You were elected and voted out of office immediately.
Denise, bad news, you won.
And it didn't have to be the marketing director.
So I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Third, fourth, fifth. Jeff, that ends the broadcast?